What's up, guys? D-Rock 1992 here. For this next video and for the next actor, it's going to be an actor this time for the About series. I'm going to talk about Robin Williams. Robin Williams. There, I said it. As all of you have heard, obviously Robin Williams unfortunately passed away about a month ago due to suicide. A very sad moment. I'm still sad by it, definitely. I mean, I grew up on the guy. I grew up on his family-friendly movies. I grew up loving him. And he is one of my favorite comedians of all time. One of my personal favorites. For those of you who didn't watch the video, we did a tribute video, myself and M. Decker 19. Gotta give a shout out to him. We did a tribute video on Robin Williams, kind of an about for Robin Williams himself. This came a couple of days after he passed away. But I feel like there's more to be said. Personally, I feel like there's a little more to be said about Robin Williams, and I'm gonna honor him further by talking about him even more. Pretty much. We talked a lot about him in the tribute video, but I feel like there's just more to be said because he's had a long and great career in Hollywood for sure. He had a long and great career in Hollywood, and he will be missed definitely. Without further ado, I'm gonna get right into his film and television career because he's had a great career in television too. And that's where I'm gonna start because Robin Williams really got his big break. This really opened a lot of doors for him. From 1978 to 1982, he appeared in Mork and Mindy. He was Mork. This is about a couple of aliens who, I think Mork more so, who was an alien who comes to Earth and he's an extraterrestrial alien, comes to Earth, and a girl named Pam Dawber co-stars as Mindy, the aforementioned Mindy, his human friend and roommate. And I think it's kind of the trials and tribulations of Mork and his adjustment to Earth. Pretty much. It's a great comedy. I've watched a tiny bit of it. I wanna watch all the episodes, definitely, eventually. But yeah, definitely, this really put Robin Williams in the he kind of put him on the map, really. Kind of opened people's eyes. Hey, there's that funny guy there. There's Mork, the funny guy, Robin Williams. Mork and Mindy is actually a spin-off of a very popular TV show, Happy Days, that came in the 70s. He appeared on Happy Days a couple of times as Mork. And he got his own show. And kudos to him, definitely. There was a producer of Happy Days, I think, that discovered him, that really loved his performance as Mork, offered him the TV series Mork and Mindy. Robin Williams accepted, and history was made, pretty much. In between his Hollywood career, in between his Mork and Mindy career, he comes out with his first movie. Actually, at the beginning of his Mork and Mindy times, or a year before, he comes out with his first movie. Although I consider his first movie to be Popeye in 1980. But as I said in the tribute video, his first movie actually was a movie called Can I Do It Till I Need Glasses? And he plays a lawyer man with a toothache. This is, I think, excuse me, this movie was a short movie. I think it was only like 50 minutes long or so. so I don't really consider it. His first big movie was Popeye. And if you remember the cartoon Popeye back in the day, he starred as Popeye the Sailor Man. And he was very good in the movie. He was spot on. Everybody was spot on in this movie as, the surrounding people. Popeye, Bluto, Olive Oyl. The movie's not the best movie out there, definitely. It's very silly, for sure. But he does a great job in it, for sure. 1982, he comes out with The World According to Garp. And he plays the title guy, T.S. Garp. And this movie is also a pretty good one, maybe underrated, certainly, and it has Glenn Close and John Lithgow in it. John Lithgow is probably going to be one who I talk about on the About series. Excuse me. And so that's that movie. 1983, he comes out with The Survivors. And first of all, before I say anything about that, I'm not going to talk about every single movie because it would take 2 hours to do it, because Robin Williams has been in a lot of movies. Was in a lot of movies in his career. Still not used to him passed away. Wow. The Survivors came out, and this is a movie that's significant in the wrong way, because I think it's his lowest rated movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was 9% or something like that. But obviously, he didn't let that affect him. 1984, he comes out with Seize the Day. Moscow on the Hudson. 1986, he came out with Seize the Day. But that's not really a huge movie on him, so I won't talk about it. 1984 is Moscow on the Hudson. He plays this Russian man who I think, based on the title, comes to New York or something like that. I've never watched the movie, but he plays a Russian man in the movie, which is good. It shows his great versatility and his dialect, and he had to learn a Russian accent. For the movie, he had to learn a crash course Russian accent. He was in a crash course to learn the Russian accent, I think for about 2 months, or a couple weeks or something like that. So it definitely was a challenging role, probably, but a good one on his docket. In 1986 rather, he comes out with a great comedy album, A Night at the Met. He has comedy albums to his name as well. A Night at the Met is I haven't watched the comedy. I actually have it on iTunes, as a matter of fact, and it's online too on YouTube. I've seen that it's on YouTube. I have not watched it yet. I have to soon, definitely, because it's funny. I mean, from what I've heard, this comedy is funny. This comedy video is funny. He bears it all out there. He swears a lot. More into that later. But this comedy thing is kind of, definitely was another famous part of Robin Williams' career. The next year, however, 1987, he comes out with his breakthrough role. This really establishes him as a superstar. Good Morning Vietnam. It is... I would like to watch the movie. I actually had it taped on my DVR not too long ago, but unfortunately I wasn't able to watch it. Not a lot of time and things like that, but I regret it, definitely, because I want to watch it someday. It is probably his most well-known role. He plays a man named Adrian Cronauer. He is a broadcaster during the Vietnam War, and he is broadcasting about the Vietnam War and kind of lighthearted about a bad situation, pretty much. He's a lighthearted. He shows lightheartedness and funniness in a bad situation. And I've heard that most of his radio broadcasts in the movie were improvised. That pays a lot of tribute to his improvisation skills. That's something that not a lot of actors and actresses can do. I mean, is do really, really good improv. And Robin Williams was able to do that. Kudos to him for sure. In 1988, he comes out with a small role. He has a small role in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, if I'm saying it right. And he's credited as a guy named Ray D. Tutto for some strange reason, but it's a movie that's based on the tall tales that the 18th century German nobleman Baron Munchausen was alleged to have told about his wartime exploits against the Ottoman Empire. That's according to Wikipedia. But this was another one he starred in. I'm not going to talk too much about that. But the next movie on the list I'm going to talk about is a movie that definitely proved he could be a drama man as well as a comedy man. Dead Poets Society. This is another big Robin Williams movie I haven't watched yet. I'm kind of kicking myself for not watching it before he passed, but this movie it's about a poet. He's a poet in this movie, and he kind of, through his own special way, he teaches the kids in his class poetry and all that sort of thing, and teaches them kind of, I almost want to say life lessons. He inspires his students through his poetry, for sure. And Dead Poets Society is just one of his watermark movies. It is one of his best. A lot of people I have seen have done a tribute to him. Did a tribute to him when he passed. Got up on top of a desk and said, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," which is definitely, that's a famous line from the film. But I was definitely familiar with that when he passed, because a lot of people did that. But Dead Poets Society, another big movie from this guy. So we get to 1990, and he stars with Robert De Niro. I mean, how many actors and actresses, honestly, if you took a poll of people who have starred, or actors and actresses that have starred with Robert De Niro, all of them, pretty much all of them are going to say, it's an honor to work with Robert De Niro. The great Robert De Niro. One who I'm going to talk about, obviously, in the About series. He's that good. But in Awakenings, he plays a doctor who awakens a comatose patient who's played by Robert De Niro through, he awakens him, and this is another good drama movie, I think. It really proves that Robin Williams is adept at both comedy and drama. In 1991, he comes out with a couple movies that are pretty good hit, pretty well known for him. The Fisher King is the first one. For a while before I watched Popeye, it was the earliest Robin Williams movie that I had watched. I watched it on Netflix one day, and I'm glad I did, because The Fisher King is a really good movie. It's another good Robin Williams performance. It has Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams in it. Robin Williams plays this man who, due to a tragedy that happened to his wife, to his character's wife is killed, and quite tragically, and this guy this character goes insane after all this. So he's homeless. I mean, he was a professor, I believe, at a major university before this happened. He suddenly was homeless, insane. He lost his mind pretty much. He thinks that he needs to collect the Holy Grail in this movie. This is a comedy slash drama. So Jeff Bridges is a radio man who discovers that his wife, he was an indirect cause of his wife's death, of Robin Williams' character's wife's death. So he tries to help him throughout. He tries to repay the man by helping him throughout. And helping him along the way with a girl, and it's just a very good movie. He also, in the same year, comes out with Hook, and this Hook is after Captain Hook, the Peter Pan villain. He plays a version of Peter Pan. He plays Peter Banning / Peter Pan in this movie. It is his adventure to try to defeat Hook and reclaim his children who were kidnapped by Hook. And Hook is played by Dustin Hoffman. And this is an adventure. This is a revision, a rendition of Peter Pan that was not critically well received. It was not one of Steven Spielberg directed the film, and it just wasn't one of the best critically reviewed films, but he is known for the movie for sure. 1992 comes about, the year I was born. Toys comes out. First off, Toys is it's not well known of a Robin Williams film, but actually M. Decker 19, he told me that he really likes the movie, which kind of makes me curious. It makes me curious about it as well. He plays a toy man in this movie. I have to watch more of it to describe it, but I have to watch it, but I'll definitely have to give that a watch, like I have to many Robin Williams movies. But one of his most important roles comes in 1992 with the animated film Aladdin, the Walt Disney animated film Aladdin. He plays the genie, of course, in Aladdin. All of you knew that, probably. The genie, he helps Aladdin win over Jasmine's heart in this movie, and he becomes one of Aladdin's closest friends, as well as his servant, because Aladdin finds the magic lamp, and poof, out comes the genie. Out comes Robin Williams' genie in his Jack Nicholson impression, wild antics, the stuff that Robin Williams is known for. He was able to portray that and put it on the animated screen. And I say this Aladdin is a very important role because this really popularized voice acting in general. I mean, a lot of people see Robin Williams, a big-time actor, as an animated guy, an animated character, and a lot of people are going to be like, okay, this could be good for my career, kind of, being in an animated film. And this is really the important role because it really popularized voice acting, and we have Robin Williams to thank for that, for sure. In 1993, he comes out with one of his top movies, another top movie for him. This guy has a lot of top movies. Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire, a lot of you probably have watched this movie. I have myself. And he plays a guy named Daniel Hillard who's divorced from his wife, and he doesn't get to see his kids that often due to the divorce settlement. So he disguises as one Euphegenia Doubtfire as the nanny. He wins the nanny spot for his wife, for his wife, and that's how he gets to see his kids again, is being a nanny and spending time with them that way. It's a lighthearted, it's a good story. It's lighthearted. It's funny. It's a great Robin Williams film, and this film introduces us kind of. I mean, he had a career beforehand. He had movies before then, but this kind of opened people's eyes to Pierce Brosnan. Of course, your Pierce Brosnan was James Bond. So, little tidbit there. 1995, he comes out with another kind of family-friendly / darkish film, Jumanji. He's a man who's trapped in a video game in this movie. I think he's trapped in the video game anyway. It's been a while since I've watched it. But these kids, they have to play this dangerous game, this dangerous Jumanji game, to basically get everything back to normal, essentially. It's a do-or-die situation, kind of, and this movie, another well-known Robin Williams performance. In 1995, this movie isn't really, 1996, rather. He comes out with Aladdin and the King of Thieves, the second sequel to the Aladdin film series. He wasn't in Aladdin and the Return of Jafar, because he had a contractual dispute with Disney over using his likeness. I guess Robin Williams was mad at Disney for using his likeness too much to promote him, so he got into a dispute with Disney. They were in a dispute for a while. Dan Castellaneta, better known as the voice of Homer Simpson on The Simpsons, starred in Aladdin and the Return of Jafar as the genie. So Robin Williams resolved his dispute. He came back, was in that second sequel, which didn't do as well as the first movie, but kind of a notable one to talk about. In 1996, he comes out. 1996 is a good year for him. 1996, he comes out with Jack, and Jack is It's basically, the gist of it is that he's a 10-year-old kid in a 40-year-old's body. 40-year-old's body, Robin Williams.